All right, boys, welcome back to the Fellowship of the Fleek Fantasy Football Weekly podcast recap. Joining me this week, I have the manager for the Big Cheese, my little brother Prem.
Hey, what's up?
What's up,
How's it
dude?
going?
Good.
Nothing much, man.
So, I know you're strapped for time, so we're gonna kind of keep this moving. But the reason we're strapped for time, obviously, you're a college student. You got some tests going on this week. You got to study. Why don't you
Yeah.
just tell everyone real quickly in a couple sentences or just a couple minutes how's college going first semester and all that?
Since it's community college, like the social aspect is kind of diminutive, but it's not too bad. I've made a couple friends and I'm hanging out with people who are still here, thankfully. School-wise, I'm definitely a lot more like locked in now. Like I have to really focus and study a lot more, which is why I'm only here for 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just working on Calc and Chem tonight. I've been working all day. Hopefully I do well tomorrow.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Um.
it.
Yeah. So obviously, normally I talk about how we know each other, but this one's I think pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, it's pretty
You're
easy.
my blood, and then usually I talk about who else in the league but we can kind of just skip past that and we'll get right into it. So
Yeah.
I got the
Okay.
slides up. Can you see my screen?
I can.
All
Yeah.
right. So the first update that we have, actually the only update we have, is that someone updated their profile picture to Super Saiyan 1 Goku.
Yes.
So you actually changed your picture to Goku. How about you tell us kind of what went on with that thought process there to change to Goku? What
Okay.
inspired you?
I got you. All right. So I've always really liked Dragon Ball, and like it was always really cool to me. But like, especially recently, since Sparking Zero came out, I've been like rewatching some of my favorite parts. And one of my favorite parts that I hold near and dear to my heart is the Namek Saga, particularly after Krillin dies when Goku goes Super Saiyan 1 for the first time. Because in that moment, not even Vegeta could have beaten Frieza. Goku had to go above and beyond to win. Now I'm at the bottom of the league right now. I gotta go above and beyond to win. I gotta reach Super Saiyan 1. I don't know when the metaphorical Krillin death is going to come. It might have been last
that
week.
was that
It
was
might be coming
CMC.
this
That
week.
was CMC getting hurt on week 1. That was Krillin.
Exactly. CMC getting hurt right at the gate. That was Krillin dying. Now I've just been building up Super Saiyan 1. Pretty soon I'm gonna hit Super Saiyan 2. I'm gonna be at the half point of the league. And then, who knows? Maybe Ultra Instinct. See what happens.
Yeah, let's pause the brakes on the Ultra Instinct. We got a ways to go. Before we move on, I mean, Dragon Ball. Obviously, a lot of us here have near and dear to our heart as well. But just if I were to put my favorite arc out there, it's gonna be Cell Saga for sure. Super Saiyan 2
Oh,
Gohan
so
is that's the peak of the series for me. All right, so let's go into last week's matchup. So me versus Jesse. Now, I guess I don't know if I formally apologized to you, Prem, yet, but I personally gave you a guarantee that I was going to bring in the dub for you,
yes,
and I didn't pull
bro.
through. I didn't pull through.
Hold on, let me find your exact words because you were talking mad confident. It was like oh, it's me and Jesse. It's gonna be an easy dub for me. What is it? Where was it? This is ridiculous. This shit pissed me off.
All
Oh, I'm playing Jesse this week, so you can count on him being 1-6 with the saluting emoji. So you just lied.
right.
So you just lied.
Yeah, I guess you couldn't count on that. I am sorry, but
No, I could not.
yeah, but You know, I will say that Jesse's team really came through. I can't even say like one particular person really went off. I mean, he had like you can see, Drake May, Amon Ra, T. Higgins, Gino, and the Vikings defense. He kind of spread it around the
Yeah,
board. Everyone did their job this week for him.
yeah,
It's funny because it was all coming down to Monday Night Football, and in
pretty much.
Monday Night Football, I had Lamar Jackson and Isaiah Likely still to play, and he had Cade Otton, and he was up by 30 points, and
Dang.
he was pretty confident that I was gonna win. I was kind of 50-50. But we were playing PUBG while we were watching the game, and he was going through it, man. And then finally, at one moment, he said, "If I lose this game, I promise you, I'm not gonna rejoin the league next year." And I was like, "Damn!" I mean, he's been going through it. He had the same record as you, or he was one record better, I think, maybe.
I'm like, he was 1-5. We were both 1-5.
Yeah, I think you're both 1-5. So he was going through it too, and apparently he was going through it in his other league too, so he was just down on his last straw.
Down his luck.
And
Yeah.
at that moment when he told me that, the game was still undecided, and I was like, you know what, you can have this win if that means, because he said, I said, if you win this game, does that mean you promise that you're gonna do it again next year? And he said, yeah. So I said at that point,
You didn't give him the win, bro. You're
I
talking
mean, I
like you
didn't do
did it,
anything. I didn't do anything, but I did say that I hope you win because I would like to have you back. So
for
so he
sure.
he won. So he said it himself. He promised he would be back, but it was an exciting game. I mean, Lamar went off for over 30 points. Jesse called him Stat Pad Jackson, so I added Stat Pad Jackson to Lamarvelous.
I thought that
Um,
was really funny.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, Saquon had a great day. I just got Josh Jacobs from Wade, so actually,
Nice.
speaking of, it looks like Tua's coming back really soon now. So we're gonna find out here in a minute if that trade was good or bad. Because if Achan starts to produce like he was when Tua comes back, then maybe the trade wasn't that good for me. But after just
Mm,
1 week, if Josh Jacobs can just give me like 15 to 20 like this every single week, I'll consider myself happy with the trade. But
yeah.
man, Diggs and Devontae Smith, they just didn't do shit. I was expecting a lot more from Devontae Smith after the bye. Diggs also, I think Nico Collins is still out, so I was expecting more from him. And then he actually led the Texans in targets, and he caught 5 out of 7, but just didn't, for only 20 yards. So I think it was just a bad week for the Texans. I mean, the Packers defense is good. Jair Alexander is one of the best corners in the league, so you just can't really count on that. What I also didn't expect was Bucky Irving to go off because Rashad White came back. That's one of the backups in Tampa Bay for the running backs. Rashad White
Yeah.
came back, so they had basically three running backs. And I was like, well, I don't want to start Bucky Irving, who's sharing the carries with two other guys. So I left Xavier Worthy, and Xavier Worthy has pretty much only, impressed week one and has kind of been disappointing other than that. So
Yeah.
um,
Chance on him.
but yeah, other than that, I mean, it still came down to the wire. It was what 8 points separated, but yeah. So in summary, I'll say, sad I couldn't get you the loss, but I'll just put it on you, bro. You got to clutch up now. You're still
Hey,
tied with them.
I'm actually glad that Jesse came through because, like, dude, like, we were really at the bottom together, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were really locked in at the bottom, and now we both coming up, like,
Okay.
this should really mean something for real. When we're top 2, you know what I'm saying? Like, he gets it. Jesse, you get it, bro, you get it.
All right, so I got your last week up on here. So this is a big week for
And I
you.
was cooking.
Yeah, talk
Oh
your
my god.
shit. Talk your shit.
Dude, I was killing it, bro. I had hella points. I had more in the entire league. I had almost like 30 points up on who is this? Wade? Is it?
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah.
his name. Yeah, Wade, bro. But I felt so bad because I couldn't even talk shit because I was in there and he was being all chill about it. He's like, oh, you win some, you lose some. Bro, please just call me gay or something. This made it so difficult. I couldn't be in there calling him a bitch. I feel bad. Good
Yeah.
job, bro. Good job, Wade. Good job, man.
But yeah, so it looks like that you had the overachiever, which to me that kind of
Yeah.
means in a way that you got lucky because your stars were projected only 108 and they way um
I was
overperformed
not
there.
expecting the Jaguars to do that well against the Patriots, like because I just wasn't paying attention to that game. Like, that was
Mhm.
not my focus. I didn't think that Bigsby was gonna do that much for me, and then he ended up doing way more than I thought he would,
Yeah.
you know?
Actually, I should have asked you this earlier, but I guess I'll ask it now. If everyone might not know, but this is your first time ever doing fantasy football. So
Mhm.
can you talk a little bit about, how it's been? Like obviously you've been watching football for a while. You understand the game, you know the rules.
Yeah,
Football's not new to you, but fantasy is. So tell me a little
yes.
bit about how it's been playing fantasy for the first time. What do you like? What do you not like? How has it been from week 1 to now week 8?
Okay. Um, so I'll start with this. Like you said, I've been watching football for a really long time, but I've primarily focused on teams that I really care about, and the 2 that I care about are the Cowboys and the Ravens. Those are the only 2 those are my 2 favorite teams, particularly the Cowboys. Um Fantasy has kind of forced me to pay attention to other players outside of those 2 teams and, like, stats of those players outside of those teams, which I kinda like because it lets me see, like, what's going on in the league, and, like, in terms of fantasy, it lets me know, like, "Alright, so it's a good idea to keep him, bad idea to drop him, like, XYZ." So I like that I get to know more stuff. Um, it's totally new to me though to have to think this much about something that is basically just dependent on luck. Like I wasn't expecting Godwin to get injured at all,
Mhm.
and then him getting injured has kind of thrown a wrench into how I was going to plan this coming week. Like I have some good wide receivers, but now I've got to think about like, are they going to do as much as he did? Because last week he went crazy. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, so I do like having to think about more things, and I feel like it makes me closer to the game of football because now I'm looking at more teams than just my two. Uh, but like, it's really enjoyable. I'm having a really good time. Week 1 up to week 3, I think I was still figuring out, like, the ropes,
Yep.
but after week 3, I started to kind of figure out, like, how to really play the game,
Mhm.
and like I said, it's dependent on luck, but it's a lot of fun to see, like, taking a gamble on a player and then they end up going crazy,
Mhm.
you know? I really enjoy that feeling, and I'm having a lot of fun with it right now. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying having you here. I feel like I had to help you out a lot in the beginning, and I've
For
honestly kind
sure.
of not really been doing much since then. I will say I did give you the tidbit to pick up the Commanders defense and start them because you had the
Yes.
49ers in, but
Yes.
you didn't even need that help because even without those 17 points, I mean, you still would have wiped the floor with Wade. But I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
but
you
the
know, I'm still
17 was
keeping an
bragging
eye on my
rights.
little brother, making sure he's doing what he needs to do.
Appreciate it, bro.
Um, do you see this being something that you would enjoy doing every year, or is this just like a
Absolutely. I would
nice?
absolutely love to do this every year. I mean, like, I wouldn't wanna, like, if you guys have these, like, specific rituals that y'all do as friends, then I wouldn't wanna infringe on that, but if I'm being invited to do it every year, I would absolutely love to. It'd be a lot of fun.
Nice.
'Cause I joined a fantasy league with my friends, like, a couple weeks after, or not, sorry, a fantasy basketball league with my
Mm-hmm.
friends 'cause I couldn't join a, already done a football league. So I joined that one, and I've been doing this with my friends, and I think next year I'd love to do, 1 football league with you guys if I'm invited, and then 1 football league with them.
Yep.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like it's always one of those things with leagues, especially because you need like 10 to 12 people to have a league, and the
Yeah.
issue is, most male friend groups are not that big, you know. So what
Yeah.
happens is a lot of the times the league that you're in is like six guys who are really close, and then those six guys invite like a couple that every one of them knows. And to
Yeah.
me, like that, the less that everyone knows each other, to me, the less fun the league actually is because you want to be talking
Absolutely.
shit to everyone, and if you don't know someone, you're not comfortable with them. It kind of there's like kind of that
Can't
wall
talk
there,
to
right?
them.
And that's part of the reason
I
why
agree.
I made this podcast is so that it kind of forces people to get to know each other a little bit because when they're listening to it, it's almost like they're hanging out with you, even though they're not even here. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
yeah, so and hopefully if we can keep this going, obviously at the bachelor party, we're all gonna have like a whole weekend where we're all together. Memories will be made, friendships will be
Yeah,
made,
man.
and then from
For
there we
sure.
can kind of carry it on. But that's the thing. So for you, right? Like having a league that like this one, are you probably gonna be like lifelong close friends with all of my buddies? Probably not, but maybe one or two,
No.
like you might. But
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
that's why you'd have your league with your homies, and then this is like the league with your brother. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
that's what it feels like. It feels like a league with my brother, but
Yeah.
also I know that, like, I've always been pretty good at making friends, so I'm not gonna be surprised that if, like, at your bachelor party, I end up, becoming pretty cool friends with these people.
Yeah.
Not in the sense that, like, they'd be like my ride or dies, like my
Yeah.
friends my age, but I'm imagining we'd be pretty cool, you know?
Yeah. So I know we went on a tangent there, but is there anything about this game you want to talk about? I mean, it looks like you had two guys on bye, so you don't have to do anything there, right? So it's pretty much. I mean, Spencer Rattler. I'm assuming it makes sense that he was on your bench. So it's like
Yeah.
Pickens is really the only decision you had to make. So talk me through how you decided that Pickens was the one who's going to be on your bench.
Okay, so it was between Pickens and DK, right? Because I Godwin has been really consistent for me, and, like,
What about Amari? Amari was a lock for you.
Amari was a lock because I knew that now that he was on the Bills, I just had a feeling that he was going to do better,
Hmm.
and I was not gonna trash that feeling because firstly, I made the trade, and, like, looking back, was that a good trade? If like, I got really lucky that he got traded to the Bills,
Yeah.
but if he weren't to get traded to the Bills, that probably would have been a waste of a trade, you know
Well,
what I'm
I don't
saying?
know because you gave up Goddard, and Goddard I don't think is doing anything either.
What Yeah, like, he's not, but I'm saying, like, I picked up a spot, right? Like, I
Yeah.
picked up a player. And if he wasn't going to do anything, and I gave a player who wasn't doing anything, I didn't get anything out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just got a spot filled. So now that when I found out he was getting traded, I was like, I really liked watching Amari Cooper play on the Cowboys. He was pretty good, and I had faith that he was actually my favorite player on the Cowboys for a little bit. And I had faith that like if since he's on a better team, he might do better. So I wanted him locked in on that spot. And DK, like he's not been throwing down like I thought he would at the beginning of the league. Like, he's been doing like all right. He did really well this game, but it was kind of just a leap of faith to be like, all right, I'm gonna give you one more shot before I switch you out with I switch you out. So I kind of just went with faith for DK.
Yeah.
I knew
Okay.
Amari would do well. I could feel that like in my bones.
So now that George Pickens has had one game, no, I mean it's the notable thing with George Pickens, right? Is that now this game is the first game with Russell Wilson. So now the
Yeah.
question for you is: do you think this is the new norm for George Pickens? Do you think this was an outlier? What's your what? Oh, I guess we'll talk about that later. Never mind. We'll talk about that later on George Pickens. Let's go ahead
All
and
right.
get to the next slide. Actually,
Sure.
um, maybe that's a segue into your next game. So let's just do that. So now that you have next week up, so what I was going to ask you a second ago, right? Since George
Yeah.
Pickens just went off, is your plan now going to be I'm gonna start him? Do you think this is going to be like he's going to be start doing really well, or what are your thoughts there?
Well, I don't really have a choice, right? Like because I mean, like I could drop him and pick up somebody else, but I don't plan on doing that
Yeah.
because Godwin got injured. There's no way he's coming back for at least a little while, you know?
What is his
And my other
injury? I
2
actually don't know.
yeah, it was an injury. I think he,
No,
like
no. What injury did he get?
oh, it was something on the ankle, but it's definitely, like, really bad
But is it
to
not
where
out for the season?
I'm not sure,
It's
actually.
okay if
The
you don't off
one
the top of your head. I don't want you to look it up.
not
It's all
off
good.
the top of my head, but I know he's out for this game. I can tell you that for the fact, you know?
Yeah.
And my other 2 wide receivers do not do what I need them to do. Tolbert, he's, like, just below mid, and O'Dunes is like I don't know how to say his name. He's like he's mid. Like he's just dead ass mid. Like he doesn't do anything for me. He had that one game in week what was it like week 3 where he went kind of ham. I think he put up like 16 points or something. Not nearly good enough and not nearly consistent enough. I feel like Pickens consistently will get higher than 12 points if my memory serves. At
Hmm.
least consistently gets higher than 10. And he went crazy last time. He got 19. So I don't have a choice and I have to put him in and he's the best out of the 3 that I have right
Yeah.
now.
If you wouldn't mind me giving you some advice, I'd say the one thing that
Sure.
I would monitor is DK Metcalf is showing as questionable. So just keep an eye on that because if he ends up, depending on what his injury is, you may want to put O'Dunes in for him.
Yeah.
Um, but that's the only thing. Everything else I think on your lineup is good. I wouldn't mess with anything else.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I saw the notification pop up and I had to swipe it because I was still studying, so I didn't actually think about it. But I'll go back and look at it later after my test tomorrow probably.
Nice.
See what's up.
And so you're playing Joji. So do you have
Yeah.
any thoughts or feelings? Any specific like, oh, I want to beat Joji. He's
I have no beef with
no
Joji at
beef.
all. No beef with Joji. I have no beef with anybody, but all I'm saying is, bro, Goku beat Frieza. Goku beat Frieza. He beat, Gohan beat Cell, but I'm counting that as a victory for Goku. Goku beat Cell, Broly. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got tossed. It's about to happen again, bro. It's gonna happen
I'd
again.
I'd
Watch.
say Joji's more like a Raditz or like a what were those little green dudes in the beginning?
Um, the fucking like I know who you're talking about. I can't remember their names.
It's the
The
way
little,
the one that the way every single Dragon Ball Z video game starts is where you're fighting those little green dudes.
I've never played like what is it? The one that came out before Sparking Zero. It starts with a B. It's some Japanese word with a B.
Budokai?
I never played yeah, I never played that. I wanted to really bad, but I never played it.
Yeah.
I
One of
I
the
wouldn't know how the game starts. I just kinda
Well,
watch the
it's in the
show.
anime too. It's how the anime is. It's when Raditz and Nappa come to Earth. It's before Namek. I
Yeah, the
believe.
first time I watched that was like a bunch of years ago. I was probably like
Yeah,
12 or 13, bro. I don't
yeah,
remember.
that's fair.
I remember the big stuff and like my favorite little stuff, but that's
Mhm.
pretty much it.
All right, I'm gonna take it back and go to mine. I'm gonna try to keep it moving because I know you're strapped for time. I'm playing Tyler. This is a big matchup because obviously Tyler's been at the top of the league. Well, I was at the top
Mm.
of the league the first 3 weeks, and then since then he's been at the top of the league. So um, I'm playing him. I have this is just the lineup that I had when I took the screenshots. I still don't know what I'm gonna do. Cooper Cup is finally back from injury, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. Just because he went
Dang.
off the first week. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
What was his injury?
I don't remember to be honest. I think it was a foot or ankle, something like that.
No, good thing he's back.
All right, so waivers and free agency. I'll kind of skim over this, just kind of talk about the highlights. But the big one, I took Russell Wilson. Jesse was not happy about that. Did you see the messages in the group chat?
Good.
So I'm
For
curious. Maybe you guys, let me know in the group chat or in the comments if you think it was a bitch move. Obviously, I have my first two picks are quarterbacks. I took
sure.
Lamar one. I took Joe Burrow two. I don't need another quarterback. But after I saw that game, I saw
Agreed, bro.
Russell Wilson perform well. I was like, hey, I'm the number three in the waiver order. I'm gonna take him. Do I
That's
need him?
pure
No, but I'm
greed.
gonna try to leverage that for some trades. Um, so if that's a bitch move, then I guess I'm a bitch, but I don't know. um,
It's not a bitch move, but it's like you're the dude at the cookout who grabs seconds and thirds when some people haven't had their first play yet. You know what I'm saying?
okay, but this is a fantasy football league. It's not a cookout.
It's the principle. I'm not saying that it's the same thing. I'm just
I'm here
saying
to
this
win,
that's
man. I'm here to
actually
eat the most food. All right. So other than that, I mean, there's just a couple others that looks like both people were after. Tyler took up Bo Nix, which I think Tyler. Oh no, Tyler has Jaden Daniels who got hurt, but I don't think it's a serious injury. So um I'm curious if he actually needs a quarterback or what's going on there. And then a couple people going for the Kansas City defense, which is kind of interesting. I don't really know them off the top of my head of scoring a lot of points on defense, and yeah, that's about it. So there are no trades happening. No trades happened last week. So I have nothing there. Trade block. Jesse got up. James Conner. Shin got up. So the funny thing is, last week his response said literally everyone except my QBs. This week it says everyone except my QBs, but y'all hoeing. So I guess Shin really wants to trade. Maybe I'm gonna take a look through what he's got because I have a quarterback for sale right now. Um, Mason's got Trey McBride, but I don't think he realized that all the tight ends suck and nobody cares.
tight
Uh,
ends are ass, bro.
Joji, same thing. And then you can see me. I got Russell Wilson right there. Hot off the presses. Okay, so this is the new segment. I don't know if you had seen this. This was new last week, but so the power rankings that you guys vote for, you're gonna present yours that you inputted. So I know what you put in, and it's gonna come up on the screen. So we're gonna go through this
Okay.
a little bit quick, but I'm gonna go one at a time, and you tell me kind of what your thought process is in putting them at that position. Okay.
Okay.
All right, number five.
Um, you gotta tell me the name of the person just so I'm like speaking
Wait,
the
this is
proper.
Wade.
Okay, Wade. Um, so like I the way I input these when you send them out is it's kind of based on like one, are they doing well? Like is their record high? And then two, do I feel like they'd probably just be higher up? So a lot of this is based off feeling, but I don't know, man. Like Wade's doing pretty well, but I beat him. So is he up higher than fifth? Probably not. I don't know. Shit.
Okay.
No.
Great
No.
explanation. Four. You got me four. What's up with that? Why am I not higher than four?
Why are you not higher than 4? Because you let me down, bro. You let me down, bro. You were talking all crazy about being Jesse. And look, bro. If the power rankings were accurate and you were up all the way high, that should not have happened. Especially not the way you were talking. Again, I know it's all luck, but bro, come on. You were talking like it'd be easy, and you got
Okay.
cooked.
I'll be honest. When I first
So
saw that you put me at four, I was a little pissed. But with that explanation, I understand where you're coming from.
you were pissed.
Yeah, I was like,
That's
what the hell? It's all good. All right, you got Shin at three.
this one was done at random. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I haven't even looked at Shin's team, bro. This was done completely random.
Okay, wonderful.
I just knew. Okay, look, I knew I couldn't give you top. I knew I couldn't give you top three. So
So you
Shin's
just
place.
put someone else. Okay. So you got
Yeah, you
Mason
had to
at
give it
two
something. Mason, I know Mason was doing really, really well for the first couple weeks. Honestly, I think he's been doing really well the
up
entire
until
time.
up until this past week. I
Yeah,
think the
up until
first
this
week
past
he did
week.
really bad, and then this week he did really bad.
Yeah, these were the, and then like between that, he's been like top three pretty much the whole time. I think he was like fifth once. Mason's been doing crazy, and I talked to Mason at Ukka's house, and he was like, "Yeah, every time I do something, I just send the information to a friend of mine, and he just tells me what to do," which was pretty funny because that's what I'm doing with you. So, he's doing pretty well. I think he's number two, but I don't think he'd be number one because that will go to
Tyler.
Side. Yeah, who's just been kind of going crazy the entire time. I
Yep.
mean, yeah, he's just been like up top the whole time. That's my yeah.
All right, so here's the power rankings as voted on by everyone. So a couple interesting things that are missing from yours. So Nathan came up at two overall,
Mhm.
and he's not even in your top five. So if you have a reason for that, you could share it now. If it was just kind of random, that's cool
It was random.
too.
It was
Okay.
completely random. Absolutely random.
Well, for these future ones, how about we not make them as random, and I want your true opinion on who you think are the best five
All right,
teams
all
in
right, all
order.
right. Sure, sure. I mean, most of them were done with thought behind it. Like your place, Mason's place, Tyler's place, and Wade's place were done with thoughts behind them. It was just like I haven't looked over anything that like Shin or Nathan have done
Yeah.
because like
You
my
got to pay
mind
a
will
lot
go
of
to
attention to the every all
I
the games and
should.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I
No, I'm
should,
not
but
saying you
I'm
should. I'm saying like you would have to in order to be informed.
right. Like I would have to.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at who I'm playing against, and like I instinctively look at yours just because I want to know how you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'll look at Mason's the same way.
Yeah.
But and I'll like glance over some games, but not enough to where like I know, all right, Nathan should be number two,
I
Tyler
got
should
you.
be, you know what I'm saying?
Well, now
Yeah,
that I know you haven't had enough time to listen to all of them, but through this one, you'll kind of see how people. I'll kind of show you how people have come to those
sure. Yeah, go ahead.
explanations.
That's cool.
Yeah. So Nathan went up two spots. Me and Mason went down a spot each. Um. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. And then here is the breakdown of who voted for who. Um.
Okay.
Now this might be a little hard to read, hard to look at, but the
No, it's
row.
pretty easy to follow.
Okay, cool. So then
Yeah,
I have a couple notes here on just what I thought was interesting or what kind of stood out to me. The first thing I had was you putting me at four, but we kind of already talked about that, so we don't need to talk about
yeah.
that further.
A
Um,
lot of people had you at four. Tyler and Joji had you at four, and Chase.
that's true. I got a lot of bones to
And
pick with
Shin.
these
Dude, a
these
lot of people
fools.
had you at four.
You
Everybody had you at four except for Jesse and Nathan.
that's kind of true. Now that you think about it, I,
Yeah, man.
I take that as disrespect. I guess yeah. That's all of this color. That's people putting me in fourth. I guess.
There you go, man. It
Oh
wasn't that
well.
crazy of that, man.
All right, and then
That's your sign to tee up.
so I thought it was interesting that Shin picked Joji for the third place, and then Joji also picked Shin for third place, when I think neither of them deserve third. So I think there's some kind
Definitely
of
not.
collusion going on. I
Definitely
mean,
not.
Shin, you
Bro,
could
that's
make an
hot.
argument maybe because his record's really good. Joji, my brother, I'm sorry, you're not the third best team.
Bro, no way is Joji top three. That's crazy.
So yeah, I don't
Fuck
know.
no.
I don't know what's going on there.
Hell no.
One thing that kind of also stood out to me was Tyler had Shin at two, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And but then as I looked at Tyler's input a little closer, he literally just put in what the exact rank order was of the standing. So I don't know if that's because he's like a purist and thinks that whatever the standings are the power rankings and that's it, or if he just coincidentally also thinks that those are the top five teams or what. But we can talk about that in the chat.
Yeah,
Another thing that I thought was interesting is that Wade is on here all over the place. Um, where was he at?
that's fifth. You're seeing a
Yeah,
lot of fifth for Wade.
yeah, he's
Fifth and
all
sixth.
over the place here in fifth. One, two, three, four, five, six. So six people had him in at the fifth spot, but he didn't make it, and I think it's almost. I think it's basically just because of that 1 point Shin got at 2. I don't know how this would have washed out if this was something else, but yeah, I feel like Wade should really be in 5 and Shin should be at 6, but um
Interesting.
yeah, I think Tyler and Joji pushed him over. All right, so this is one of the slides that's going to kind of help you figure out how we're coming up with these different power rankings and stuff, right? So on the left, you can see the standard league standings. It's just record, and then if there's a tie in the record, it's highest PF.
Hmm.
And then I have the 3 different tables here: PF, PA, and max PF. Do you know what PF, PA, and max PF are?
Um, no, tell me.
Sure. So each of these tables is organized but from most to least, top to bottom. PF is the amount of points that you've scored in your games. So right now this week you got 140 whatever points, right?
Yeah.
You would get an additional 100 whatever you scored, that goes to your PF. So it's the cumulative
Okay.
total of all the points that you've scored thus far.
Cool.
PA is the amount of points that people have scored against you.
Okay.
Max PF is if you had picked the perfect lineup every single week, what would your score would have been
So the most amount of points that you would have gotten
based on
had
the
you done
players
the
that you
best.
had
Okay.
on your team that week. So this
Cool.
kind of helps paint a slightly different story because you can see well there's certain people that score a lot of points but their record maybe not reflect that, right? So you can see right here Nathan's the highest in PF at a
Yeah.
851. But if you look at the standings, he just went up 2 spots to 3. So he was in 5. Now he's at 3. And you kind of would expect, right? Someone who's scored, whoever scored the most points, you would kind of expect probably is at or close to first place. And
Yeah.
he actually just passed me. You can see his PF is 851. Mine's at 849. So he's only scored 2 more points higher than me, of course, over the course of the whole league. And right now I'm in fourth place and he's in third.
Yeah.
Um, Now, the points allowed, that kind of just shows like, you know, how tough are the opponents every week that you're playing. Unfortunately for you, not only are you scoring the least, you're also having the most scored against you.
Scored
So
against me. Yeah.
yeah, so you're getting double whammied right there. Because for example, right, you can look at Shin, right? Shin, his points for is really low at 751, but people have scored the absolute least against him, and because of that, his record is five
He's
and
up.
two.
He's up high. Yeah.
Exactly. So like
Interesting.
you could be doing just like a little bit better and but have gotten lucky with who you're playing that week and your record could be a lot better. So that's why like a lot of people are saying Shin's lucky and stuff because he hasn't actually performed that well, but because people
He's
haven't scored
getting
against him, he's winning games, which is all that really
easy
matters.
runs.
All that matters is you win. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how many points you scored.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Um Max PF is interesting, but I think this might actually be more interesting on the next slide, so I'll kind of save that for now.
Okay.
Um One thing I know, so you're top of the chart in PA, but you actually went up 2 spots. So like it's gotten even worse for you lately. People are scoring even more against you more recently.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
Joji was super high. He's dropped down quite a bit. I think he was in like the third most PA. Now he's down here closer to the middle. So he's getting better matchups and he has been winning more
Just
games.
getting
I think he was
easier
one in
matchup.
four. Actually, what does it say here? Yeah, he's on a 1 win. Okay, he's been winning more games recently than before. I know that. Um, Another thing that's interesting, right? Like Tyler, he's the top in the league, third most points, but he's like second least points scored against him. So that's the reason why he's in first place, right? He scores the third most points of anyone, and the second least points are scored against him, so he wins a lot of games. Um, One other thing I thought was interesting is Mason. Mason's kind of in this spot where he scores a lot of points and his PA is pretty low, but his record isn't as good as like it should be. Like I feel like he should be 5 and 2 or 6 and 1 based on what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
But I just kind of wanted to point that out. Now, this is a new slide that I added that I think is really interesting. But this is each person's accuracy level on average over the whole season. So I've ordered this from highest to lowest, top to bottom, but this is basically just max PF divided by PF,
Okay.
or sorry, PF divided by max PF. So you can see Wade is the best at picking his lineup. He's overall 92.5%. Chase is really down here. He's down in the dumpster at 80.02%. So one of the things that I thought was interesting about this is that we've all been giving Shin shit, saying that he's lucky because he's winning these games, even though he's not scoring very many points. But he's actually third highest in accuracy.
He's got some high
So
accuracy.
so
Yeah.
he's picking the right lineups, and that's what's winning him these games. So maybe there is some level of respect to be put on his name. But then
Maybe he's got a crystal ball and he's fucking using magic or something. Yeah.
But then to that
Yeah.
point, Jesse's right below him in accuracy, but his record is completely like not as good, right? So Shin is 5-2, and then Jesse's down here at 2-5, and their
So there's
accuracy
got
is
to
like
be some aspect of luck
for
along
sure.
with the accuracy.
I think what I've realized is that Shin is lucky, but I don't think he's as lucky as we were saying. Like there was some it was
Right.
maybe 50-50. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
part that sucks for Jesse is I think he's playing pretty much just as good as Shin, a little bit better than me, but he's doing really bad. So he's like he has the skill part down, but he's getting bad luck. Shin has the skill part down and he has good luck.
And he has good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm in the middle, so I guess like I could be doing better, but yeah. So yeah,
Maybe.
let me know what you guys think about that data when we get it out there. So next segment we got is dance watch. So we got some interesting stuff on the next slide for this, but you actually went up. So I colored this interesting because you went up a spot, but I colored that red because that's bad. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to be on the top of this list.
Of course not.
Um, so you're at the top of the list now. You were at 2, and Jesse was at 1. So Jesse's went down 2 spots. Joji went down a spot. Mason wasn't on this list before, so yeah, he's new on here. Um, let's go ahead and just go into who voted for who. So the thing that I for the first thing I thought that was interesting or funny to me was that you put yourself as the fourth,
I did.
but every single other person in here either had you at 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So how about you defend to me how you're gonna put yourself at 4? Is it just confidence in yourself or what is it?
Let me ask you something, bro. Let me ask you something. Everybody got you at first or second, right? And you put yourself at first or second. What kind of fucking chance you got to be anything lower? You got to believe in yourself.
Okay, okay,
Y'all ain't believe in me, which is valid. Like I get it, but I'm gonna believe in me. And when I'm off this fucking list, clearly I'm gonna be right.
okay. And I cut the column off of here, but this poll has more columns on it, so you could have put yourself even lower, but you put yourself
Yeah,
at
because it's
4.
not the chances of me being like it's there. Like
Yeah,
me being bottom of the league is there because I started off very poorly.
yeah.
So it's definitely there. But am I going to say that it's definitive first or second? No. I got
Okay.
more faith in myself.
I
That's what the
respect that.
Goku profile picture's for.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, man.
I know you haven't had a chance to listen to the Joji episode yet, but I was telling him that if there's one person in the whole league that I don't want to be dancing, it's you. So,
Why?
because you're my brother, I'd rather have my homie making a fool of himself, not my little brother.
That's funny. But if it
So
happens, I'm gonna do it. Like
I know you will.
I'm okay with that. I'm
I know.
absolutely okay with that.
I know.
So
But I'm just saying
I don't want you to
that's
be like tweaking
I
the
know I
direction.
have you at 2 because that's just what I think logically looking at what I'm seeing. That's where I think you're at. But I
Mhm.
don't want you. I want you to not. I don't want you dancing.
Yeah, me neither.
But if you have to, I'll be there and I'll be watching.
Hey, if I have to dance, I'm gonna put on a fucking show, bro. I'm gonna learn the moves right and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna have to. Yes.
So another thing, couple things I found interesting. Jesse's kind of the opposite of you. He put himself 1. So he's pessimistic or whatever. Maybe he's realistic, whatever you want to say.
That's pessimistic. That's pes
Another thing I found interesting. Shin didn't put Jesse on here at all. So I don't know if that's just a little bit of bias or favoritism toward his homie, but he doesn't have Jesse on here at all.
Mm.
Um, this I found really interesting, and this might just be you being random again, but you had Mason first in your power rankings. So let's go back here.
Second. I had him second in my power rankings.
Oh, I'm tripping. Okay, that's still. I wrote the wrong note, but this still the point
Still
is still kind of
interesting.
there.
No, I know
You
what you mean. It's
you
like,
had
how
him
do I
in
have him high up?
yeah. How do you have him number 2 in the league and essentially also have him number 10 in the league at the same time?
Um, this is this one low key might just be me having submitted my answers wrong for the top
Okay.
spot because I definitely meant to put Jesse up top. So that might have just been like a slip of the finger or whatever.
So
But I didn't go back and
if
fix it.
well, yeah, you can't unless you reach out to me. But so I guess
Doesn't matter.
if you could redo it, what would you have here? Jesse one, and then who's two,
Jesse
three, and
number
four?
one. I have Jesse number one. I'd have Chase number two, Joji number three, and myself at four again.
Okay, okay, that makes more sense. I just this
Yeah.
kind of stood out to me, and I was confused. Okay,
No, that
so
was no, that was a mistake.
so the last thing I found interesting on this is that Joji is the only person on this whole list to not put Joji in the top four. So
That's optimism.
yeah. So
That is optimism.
that's kind of like you, but a little bit to the extreme, I guess, because it's like you still at least had yourself on here, but you put yourself a little further down.
Dude, if
He
I
didn't even
was
put
like,
himself on here at all.
dude, I swear, if I was like 15 when we were doing this, I would not be on this list either. I wouldn't have put myself on here either. Like, it's you remember, bro, you remember how I used to run into things when I was younger, bro? Come on.
So
I
you're
would
saying
not apply any realism. No,
so
he's not being realistic. Come on.
so you're saying
Come on.
Joji has
He on this list.
he has the realism of a 15-year-old.
Yes, bro. 15-year-old me at least. 15-year-old me at least. And that's not a good thing, bro. You need to be on this list. You need to be on this list, bro. You got Mason out here, but not you? No.
Yeah, I
No.
agree.
Come on.
I
Come
agree
on.
with that.
Let's be real. Let's keep it a buck.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the superlatives. What do you think of the superlatives that I've added? Do you think that's? I guess you have you. I don't know. Have you seen them?
Well, like the wait, what do you mean have I seen them? Like the results of them? This is
Just
my
the
first time seeing these charts, so
yeah. So I guess okay. So I added these. I created my own categories that I wanted to just tabulate and add. Right. So um, let me switch over to this slide real quick so you can see. So there's Fleek King, on that boo boo, got hoed, lucky motherfucker, and some of these come from just lingo from different guys in the friend group, and some is just other stuff too. But
yeah, you're
um,
good.
some of the stuff is coming straight out of Sleeper, right? Like best team of the week, that comes from Sleeper.
Yeah,
First in power ranking, that's a vote thing that we put in. So it's a combination of stuff coming out of the app that I interpret to be those things, right? On that boo boo is you're not doing well, so that's worst team of the week, least efficient,
yeah,
got hoed, right? That's like essentially something unlucky happened to you. Highest points
yep,
in a loss, like you scored a lot but you didn't win, or underachiever. You know your players didn't perform to standard. Lucky is you won but you scored very little points. Overachiever, your players went way above and beyond vote. So that's kind of how it works. So we'll just go ahead and get
yeah,
into it.
okay,
So for got hoed, there was a tie between Chase and Wade, but up to my discretion, I gave it to Chase because Wade voted for himself. I was gonna give them both a point, but then I was like, Wade voted for himself, so I'm just gonna give it to Chase.
okay,
I included last week's on here on the right, so you can kind of see things have actually shifted quite a bit. Basically, the three most that got hoed last week didn't get any votes this week. So, I mean that makes sense for you because you had the best week of anyone. So it makes you won, and Jesse also won, and I think
yeah,
Joji also won. So no, I think if you win, it's kind of hard to say that you got hoed.
for sure.
Um, and the funny thing here is that I was considering voting for myself, but I was like, let me not vote for myself. And plus, I was happy that Jesse won anyways. But Shin voted for himself, so Shin might have to explain a little bit more in depth why he thinks he got hoed. No one else thinks that he did though.
You voted for me on Gaho?
This is kind of
Is that
I might need a better way of doing this, but no, it's the opposite. So it's you voted for me, so it's like
I
these are
see. Okay,
yeah
gotcha.
yeah.
Alright, okay, cool.
I don't think I got
That
any
makes sense.
votes. No, I got one vote. I
Mm,
don't think I included
um,
those because it was like I think Chase voted for me or it was like someone random. Um, sorry, not everyone's not no one's random, but you know what I mean. It was like no Chase
yeah,
voted for him, but yeah, there was two other ones over here. I didn't, or sure, no, I think it was one. I included Shins because he voted for himself, and I was like, that's interesting. But someone else voted for me,
okay,
and that was it.
okay.
All right, so lucky that went to you. Are there any surprises there?
No, I mean, like my accuracy on the accuracy chart, it's not as low as I thought it would be, and I'll give you a little bit of credit for that because I do run a lot of things by you before I do them, but also I think I also pay attention on my own a lot because, like you said, you haven't been helping me as much as you did the first couple weeks.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely got more accurate, but this week putting up that many points was complete 100% luck. Like I could have won, but I did not. I didn't just win. Like I slammed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was luck. The slam was luck.
So yeah, I mean, I told everyone going from last week to this week too that I want these to be week to week. So even though Shin has historically been lucky in the league, we don't want to just vote him every time. Looks like a
Yeah, that
couple
would
people
be.
still did, but yeah, that's fine. On that Boo Boo went to Shin, so that's good. Maybe people were some of it was people were annoyed that he's been lucky, and now that he lost, then they're like, well, we're not gonna vote him lucky. We'll vote the other bad one, which is on that Boo Boo.
Dude, nobody likes Shin.
Uh, I mean,
That's so funny,
if you
bro.
watch his episode, you may get a little bit of figure out a little bit of
Insight
why.
as to why. I'll have to
Yeah.
go back and once my like tests are over, I'm gonna go back and watch them all.
Yep. So that comes to the culmination of this. So this is just the table that tallies the league so far.
Oh
Another
yeah,
week
one
where
man.
Jesse is still Fleek King and he still keeps asking how can he be Fleek King? It doesn't make any sense. I agree with him, but the points have been just distributing so evenly that none of us are overtaking him. But I really can't imagine that there will be another week that he's still alone at the top. Um,
Yeah, there's no way.
yeah, it's all coming because that second week with Alvin Kamara, he got
Yeah,
3 points that one week, and then he had one other week where he did well. So
yeah.
Shin's going up in the on that boo boo. He got 2 votes because he had half the league voted for him, so he got 2 points there. Godho didn't
I
change
went
at
down.
all. You went down. Yeah, you went down. That's good. That's good. And
Yep.
then Lucky, you went up. I guess a lot of people voted for you for this one. So yeah, you went
That's
up.
fair. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I feel
So
like the Tyler votes are like slightly out of spite for the
I
lucky
mean,
ones.
if you look at the data, it makes like he is performing very well. He has the third highest PF or fourth highest. I think it's third highest PF, but he also has almost the second least PA. So there is some luck in there. There's some skill too. I would say like the between Tyler and Shin, Shin is getting a little bit more lucky, I think. But then
Yeah,
actually no, if we look go, I keep forgetting about the percentages now. Where's Tyler at? Tyler's pretty low in the
it
percentages
is
actually.
low.
So actually
It's
now
low
that
percent.
now that I say it, maybe Tyler actually is somewhere even in Shin with luck, or maybe even more. But I'll leave that up for the folks to decide. Those are all the slides I have. I know you're busy and you got to get back to studying, but if you want to talk for anything
Yeah.
about anything else before we wrap this up, the floor is yours. If you want to talk any shit to Joji for your coming up, or you want to stay humble until you actually get out of last place, I'll leave that up to you.
Um. Firstly, having a lot of fun with the league, so thank you for inviting me. Right. Secondly, I don't think it would be within my character to stay humble, even though I'm in last place. So I'm just let you know right now, Joji, it's over, bro. You might as well just pack it up right now. Quit the league. It's done, bro. It's over. You had a good run. You had a good run. You put up a good fight, champ. You're gonna do better next time. That's pretty much it.
Would you like to sign off any specific way, or you want to just cut it here?
Um, nah, I'm good. But let's cut it here.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Prem, thank you for
Yeah.
joining, and we'll see you
Thank
guys
you,
next
man.
week.
Thanks for having me. Later.
All right. Bye.